Okay. So, actually, this is not normally a kind of speech that I do every day in my normal career. So, I just thought, and I also created a small note as well, just to stick to the points. First of all, it's really a great privilege to be here and also with such a eminent panelist. And it's a great opportunity for me to speak about the future of the work as well as the industry, skills, innovations and everything. And before I begin, I just want to thank Ajayan sir as well as Mehboob sir for inviting me for this forum, and entire Chamber of Commerce and Y-20 RIS for conducting this particular program in Calicut. A little bit about what I do. I started a company from campus called Gen Robotics, and what we do is like, maybe it's since because we are from India, even though I do robotics and AI, we are not thinking of replacing people, rather we are thinking of empowering them in whatever way we can do. And we work on the sector, the Gen Robotics vision, more on the sector like social aspect and how to use robotics and AI for solving social issues. Manual scavenging in sanitation is one of the issues we are trying to solve. That people enter into these gutters and enter into underground drainage system, and they have to maintain it by putting their labor inside for the sake of society. So I feel personally this is not the job a human should does, and this is something where we feel happy to give it to automation. So that is one sector we are working, and now we have a lot of solution in this space, a fleet of variety of robotic devices for handling confined space problem, including oil and gas, sanitation and nuclear sector also, because we're harmful to life. And we are also recently ventured into health sector. What we does in this sector is like, we are empowering people with the disability, the people who's encounter stroke or spinal cord injury, they have this issue of a temporary disability, and we require specific treatment in physiotherapy and all. This is not, currently it is being done majorly by manually, and that is having a lot of limitation. We are introducing robotics for empowering that sector and make people able again in a much more faster phase using technology. But this particular forum actually made me to thought about, not about what we do in robotics and AI, but what collectively happening in robotics and AI. Last 3 days I was in great fear, first of all, because I just realized that, like what they were saying, ChatGPT and all, this AI tools which is now creating in the world has tremendous power to replace human from the work. So it is reality, I don't know why people being really optimistic on this, but definitely like how the industrial revolution happened, machines take away our physical effort. Just like that, this new AI machines which we are creating, and already, their power is really shown to the world. So there is a saying like, if you show the world how that God can bleed, the world will consume him, the God. So that is what now happening. And in very soon we can see all our mental faculty that we are using in our work being replacing by artificial intelligence. People maybe resist this movement. Obviously it is happened even in industrial revolution also. But this is where world is going to, and I also feel this is required for the survival of our species to the future, in order to solve variety of problems that we are encountering in our, when we go to future. So I just want to put it in a, real, optimistic and maximum kind of scenario where robotics and AI is going to be. The fear that I had is not because of, we can't live in the era when robotics and AI is at peak. That not due to getting a living, because I feel due to different type of economical forces, we can still live in the era of robotics and AI in its peak without doing any work. That's how the mass manufacturing is already did in the industry. The cost of goods comes down. So when AI started to deploy in variety of our day-to-day operations, we don't need any money specifically to live in that world. But my fear was something else, like we are so trained in a way that our day-to-day life, we are spending 8 hours in work. So what we do if we don't want to contribute to the society in a way of work? So this specific aspect, probably a trailer of this is already been experienced by many of you guys during the COVID time. So we just started to get panic, not being that valuable. and the fear of we can easily be replaceable by technologies like artificial intelligence. This is my fear. So I put my thoughts, because I want to solve this mental issue that I also came into. I want to solve it, so I put my effort in identifying, what else we are. Like when the Industrial Revolution happened, we identified that we are more than the physical effort, we have a mental faculty that can be put into work. But now we have to ask the question like, what we are more than the mental faculties, the intellectual capability of a human mind. So AI is definitely an extension of this. That's where I identified that, more than a intellectual capability, we have something called consciousness. We have something called self-awareness. I'm not putting into philosophical sectors, but I feel the power of consciousness and self-awareness in many of the innovations and creativity and arts which is humans are doing. How we function is not like how AI function. I'm not sure whether you can identify the difference, but most of our creativity and innovations are coming from a perspective of self-awareness. We go through different types of day-to-day experiences in our life, and this different types of experience register something in our heart, the gut feeling kind of thing, in our consciousness. That's how we identify innovation. That's how we identify a new era of beginning. That's how the innovations happen. That's how AI started to happen. But what AI is currently doing is like, it just collect all the informations of whatever the innovations which is happened in the society. There is data, like these are some of the innovation, these are some of the art which is there. And it's extract information in a pure logical sense, and it just put it into some kind of form. It still feels like an innovation, but it's not a real innovation. AI does not know the meaning of it. And in every innovation and every creativity, that meaning makes a lot of sense. And that's only human can experience due to our self-awareness. And because of that self-awareness only, we have meaning to love, we have meaning to empathy, and we have a lot of meaning that make us human being. So I feel in the world of AI, if there is a job that will be actually utilizing these faculties, the consciousness faculties, the self-awareness faculties, things like that. And I feel a job of a receptionist will be more, important and valued than a job of an engineer, because that utility oriented kind of things will be definitely can do better by AI in upcoming future. And I also feel the jobs like, movie stars, maybe movie stars and all will be there in entertainment industry and singing industry, but the background people and all will be easily replaced by AI avatars and all. So this is all just, wide core predictions of what is going to happen. And we still give value to the works which is handmade. Even right now also it is there. Even in the industrial era also we love handmade kind of thing. So that will be there because it is having a story. It's not about the product. In utility aspect, definitely, all these higher powers will take over because that's what we want. But in stories, that kind of things we still buy from human to human. So I feel these kinds of work will be more important in the era of AI. And I also feel the time is already there, so I'm just wrapping up. So again, in order to reach into this specific stage, we require a lot of computational power, and computational power is already in a peak of utilization. So we have to solve the technologies like quantum computing and all in order to get into this stage. But again, the development of AI can really empower that kind of development as well. So I don't think the world is so far like 2030 and all. I feel this will happen in the next 20 years. That's my expectation. But the biggest question we should ask now is like, are we educating our society for this? I feel even though this gives me a panic, but the AI era is going to be really wonderful because we can finally do what we want to do rather than filling the gaps for the society requirement. So shifting that mentality in our education specifically for from a perspective of what society want to, what we actually love, that is the biggest change I feel which is required in the education sector. And we also need to empower our consciousness and self-awareness kind of level, and we need to put that in place of innovations and creativity and guide AI into future. And last but not least, I feel I only talk about the great part of AI. There's a probability AI can also goes bad against human race, like every tool that human make. But if the great part is quite amazing, the technology can apply it in many of human aspects. So still, I don't think humans will going to stop the expedition into AI. The only thing we should put more ethical understanding and guidance, and the bureaucrats and government should look into the development for the safety of human race. And final thing, if it is even going bad also, I feel AI will give consideration to people like us because we helped in developing. With that, I'm ending my speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Vimal. So I was just trying to see that what Vinay